Hello and welcome back to the old realms, and we're here and attacking a castle pretty far away from Sylvanian territory. And now here's the funny thing, I actually don't have a very large army at the moment. We're having to deal with only around 500 to 600 troops at the moment, because I am consistently placing a bunch of skeletons in each and every garrison that we are so far conquering. And now the problem is, I am now in a situation where we are having problems actually even keeping our army going from a pure power standpoint. It's just not working. It's just not going to really work for us very well. Unfortunately, I can't actually summon things on top of the battlements here, which is always rather frustrating, but you know, I understand limitations and things like that. Aha! Hello there. This is fantastic though. Look at that. Massive damage being done there. And I can actually now summon some people. So I'm going to be doing that. And then we're just going to jump right back up here. I'm wanting to get onto the battlements if at all possible. So I'm kind of hoping we can do that. Maybe I can just... Oh no, I actually need to do mist form. Ah, sad. Okay, I was kind of... Oh, hello there, sir. Oh. Did I literally... Whoa, wait a minute. That's a new thing that we can do now. We can literally take people up into the air with our mist form, and then we can drop them down onto the ground, and they'll die from full damage. That's actually hilarious, and kind of amazing that we can do that. You can do it if you're somewhat agile with it, I suppose. Just going to be doing some damage to my own forces here, unfortunately. You know, kind of have to at this moment in time. Didn't really want to, but kind of have to, you know, forced into it really. And then we can maybe get some other skeletons summoned there. Screaming Skull. Well, we've got some people coming in now, so we don't need to worry about that. I'm just going to summon some more people on the ground here. And that's what we're going to do. That's actually what I've been doing in my off-screen time as well. Basically, what I've been doing is going behind enemy lines, eliminating as many people as possible with my big damage spells, and then just going for some, you know, classic summons. And that seems to be working really, really nicely, actually. And we're not really having too many difficulties. Obviously, that's the point, you know. Vampires are supposed to be pretty strong, you know. I've already talked about this in previous episodes, so I'm not going to touch upon it again, but that's how it's supposed to be. And I'm very, very intrigued as to how it's going to be to play on the opposite side. I'm very much wanting to play as Britannia. I think Britannia is probably going to be my next one, but we'll see what happens, because I'm actually not entirely sure. I think you can use magic with Britannia, right? Yeah, I mean, you should be able to, right? Anyway, I'm still very intrigued about that. I'm going to see how that works out, but yeah, you can see here there's only around 70 or so troops remaining. Shouldn't have to worry about anything here. Any enemies that we need to kill will no doubt be dispatched relatively fast. And there we have it, 156 renown for us right there. Nothing to worry about in regards to our victory. We're going to be able to take every single one of these troops. I'm not going to take the prisoners right now because I am actually very close by to a rather large army, and I don't really want them to be able to catch up to us too easily. So we're just going to take that horse. I think this horse is actually not terribly bad. Let me actually just take a quick look at it. There it is. It has 40 charge damage, so that's the one thing that it has going for it. Wow, it's actually going to deal significant damage if we were to ride with it. Okay, yeah, why not? Let's try using it and see what happens. And otherwise, apart from that, I'm just going to be donating the rest of the loot. That's what we're doing, you know. We're donating it so that we can gain as much experience as possible for our party here. And this is what I've been doing, of course. This is what I've been doing in my off-screen time. I've just been taking castles and then, you know, donating the leveled up troops into the garrison and then moving on and doing a little bit of rinse repeat kind of deals with that. So yeah, that's what we're going to do here as well. There we go. Okay, so yeah, obviously, as I've said, we're leaving ourselves relatively weakened as a result of this as well. So this is a bit of a problem, because as you can see, there is a rather large army nearby. We have taken Nayron, which is over there, and we also took this other town, and I'm actually going to be making my way to this town this way, and hopeful that we can try to distract this army to come over to us, because if we can do that, I'm thinking we're probably going to have a pretty decent time of things, because if we can actually distract her, then we can prevent her from, you know, recapturing a castle. But if we don't, and if she just ignores our presence in this area, then that's also going to be fine, because if she decides to ignore us, then we're going to be taking the town, and we've just traded a castle for a town, which, in my opinion, is a pretty easy trade to make, you know. That's really not going to be terribly bad. But yeah, I'm actually now, considering we are actually able to take these things relatively easily and quickly. Unfortunately, I'm still not at 300 spellcraft, by the way. We have only a 0.38, even with 8 in discipline, which is really strange, but yeah, there you go. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get that last point in spellcraft, because that's going to increase the damage of my melee attacks by a significant margin. But yeah, as I was about to say, I'm kind of surprised that we are having so many, well, I wouldn't say easy victories, because, most of these are not that easy to do, but I'm surprised that they're so, well, the enemy is just not able to do too much. But of course, that's the thing. Think about it this way. If we were on the opposite side, there wouldn't be an AI, controlled vampire that would actually be able to do as much damage as we are doing. Of course, it's not always strictly the case, because if you take a look at the various couple of sieges that we've had in the recent past, a number of our companions have actually been able to deal some pretty good damage with their Soul Rain, and they only have Soul Rain. So, you can imagine that what it would be like if they would actually have something like Wind of Death or whatever. But I don't think they actually have the ability to learn those skills just yet. I don't think they have enough spellcraft for that. But if they do, then I am going to need to go back to one of the vampire towns anyway, so that's obviously going to be a pretty big deal. Anyway, I'm just going to actually get this ladder up here, and I'm not going to actually use it. I'm just going to put it up, and then we're just going to go up there myself, and then we're just going to cancel Mistform straight away, and then just use use Wind of Death just to kill these guys, and try to kill these guys as best we can. Oh, there's actually a lot more coming. Okay, hello. Okay, a Screaming Skull is probably going to be a pretty decent idea here. Yeah, I'm actually going to jump this way, and then we're just going to use the Screaming Skull like so. Oh. Yeah, okay, wait a minute, it bugged out. There we are. So there's the Soul Rain, as you can see. So that was the... that's the bug that is currently going on for me right now. Basically what happens is, if you cast Soul Rain and then switch your spells too fast, then it will not allow you to cast any other spells until you rotate back to Soul Rain. I think this might happen with other spells, but it's mostly happening to me with Soul Rain at the moment, so... yeah, that's just something to bear in mind. It's probably something that can be relatively, well, hopefully relatively easily fixed, but I mean, it's not really that big a deal. As I said before, it's more a case of me just being a little bit more careful about my actions when switching from spells to spells. But yeah, otherwise, we'll just go into Mistform once again. How many have we eliminated so far? I kind of have to be efficient here, so I'm kind of now in a situation where I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure if we can actually do this. Let me just, yeah, we're going to have to... Can I cast that? Yeah, I can. There we go. And let's just go around about here, jump here. Yeah, we're actually not doing too badly. We've got a bunch of skeletons behind enemy lines right now, which is super, super good. But you've got to bear in mind that I cannot actually lose more troops. These troops are, well, we really do not want them to be killed too easily. Wow, that's a lot of people right there. Okay, let me see if I can do some damage to them. Soul Rain, we're just going to put them in the middle. Screaming Skull can just go off there as well. Look at how many kills I'm getting right now. I'm just going to go into Mistform right away, just to get our regeneration started. And I guess the only thing I can kind of hope for here right now is that maybe my skeletons, and maybe the fact that I'm actually able to summon quite a few, Maybe we can just try to get something from that, because, I mean, you can see here that my melee attacks, while they are quite effective when I have the buff from Mistform, they're not really going to be that good when I don't have that, because the attack speed that I am granted from, from my weapon as a base, they are not really going to be amazing. So I'm just going to have to do this. Kill all those archers up there. They're not really going to, it's not really going to kill too many, unfortunately, but I can't do much about that. And we're just going to put, aha, hello. Okay, I'm going to have to do something about this. There we go. That's the best I can really do from here. Kill that trooper. This one, there we go. And then we're going to have to go back up here. Hello there. Okay, nice little Screaming Skull cast. Yeah, I'm killing a lot of my own troops there, but we also killed a bunch of enemies. Yeah, that's obviously the problem most of the time, but, sometimes needs must, you have to sometimes take some of the casualties to get the kills. Okay, so how many enemies? Only 29. Yeah, we've actually already eliminated everything that we needed to. How many were killed by other things? Seems like our cursed companymen, which I wouldn't have expected to get that many kills, they actually gained 40 kills, but there were quite a few of them on the battlefield anyway, so I suppose it is to be expected that they're going to be getting quite a few. In comparison, the Castellans, of course, they are the noble units. They're doing all the work pretty much apart from that, and they're doing 105. They got 105 kills, and otherwise me, I got 400, so yeah, that's not particularly bad. Is that another vampire right there? Did you see that? There was another trail of bats. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that, but yeah. Hilariously enough, what? Did you see my... Oh, no, never mind. I was actually looking at my Winds of Magic, and I thought, wait a minute, I have 10? No, I actually have 110. Yeah, so that's good to know. So that must mean that my spellcraft has actually advanced to 300 now. And by the way, we just got 304 renown for that particular battle. Very, very nice to see such an incredible amount. And yeah, I'm actually not entirely sure whether I'm going to let these people go. I think I will just let them go. I don't see a real reason to keep them, to be honest. And we can also take the prisoners here, and we can just sell them to the tavern keeper or something like that. I mean, roguery is always quite nice because, being able to increase the loot directly feeds into how much experience we gain overall, because the more loot you have, the more experience you're going to be able to donate with those wonderful steward skills. Okay, so yeah, otherwise, apart from that, let's just go for a little bit here, a lot of level ups. And then we're going to have to speak to this fellow because he literally has no troops whatsoever, as you can see. So I'm going to have to give him a whole bunch. So let's give him some of these. And so we've placed them in the garrison, and now we're just going to sell our prisoners right there. And I have no loot. I mean, I do have some loot, but I mean, what is the point of me selling right now? I mean, we've got 1.4 million. We don't really need cash any further, which is quite surprising in itself, because I actually thought that I'd be struggling for cash most of the time. But that doesn't seem to be the case. No, that doesn't seem to be the case at all. So yeah, I guess what I can do is we can just bankrupt this place super, super fast, as you can see right there. I mean, look at that. I don't even care about the cash right now. It's just, it doesn't even matter, It really does not even matter. The only thing that we're going to be spending money on is learning spells, and most of the time those spells are going to cost us, I think, 50,000 maximum, and that's, well, as you can quite clearly tell, we can make 50,000 in about 2 seconds, so it's really not that bad. Anyway, all physical damage done by your weapons is doubled and dealt again as magical damage. That is an incredible skill. I actually wonder what the last skill of Faith is. Your Faith is so strong that it is able to manifest miraculous events from time to time. I have no idea what that means, but I'm very, very intrigued by it, and I cannot wait to try that out. Yes, we'll see sometime in the near future. Alright, so as you can see, we have 261 in there. Nothing too amazing, of course. They are still besieging this, which is kind of annoying. I'm going to go over there and see if we can maybe intercept them, but I don't know whether it really matters. Does it matter? Maybe I should just go and take the other castle in this area here. I mean, you can see here that they're actually attempting to... Wait a minute. Should I try to defend them from here? Break in to help the defenders? Can we do it? Yeah, we can. We can do it straight away. Look at that. That's really, really fun, actually. Okay, cool. So this is obviously something that you can do if you don't, want to give the AI a chance to retreat or anything like that. Oh, wait a minute. What? What? I didn't want to sally out. Oh, okay. Apparently we're going to be fighting them on the fields of battle. I actually wanted to do the siege defense, but apparently I'm not able to do that for some reason. I don't know why, but apparently that's what I have now had happen, which is sad, but that's okay. It's actually fine because I'm going to be able to use my skeletal summons here, and hopefully that's going to mean that we'll be able to absolutely destroy the opponent. So let's just see. Let's just see. Okay, so I'm going to go for something like this. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good, if I do say so myself. Now I just want to do a Screaming Skull as well. Hopefully my skeleton units will kind of keep them in the area. There we go. Nice. Look at that. That is really, really good. And yeah, I think I'd like to go into mist form, but I can't because I'm actually on a mount right now. So I'm just going to summon some more undead behind me. And yeah, that's basically all I can do. So I'm just going to have to run away right now. They have some cannons, I believe. I think they have some cannons. Just going to tell my people to auto-delegate for the moment. Gonna have to get off my mount here, and we're gonna just have to stand here and use mist form. Yeah, that's kind of all I can really do, because if I were to move forward, I'm pretty sure I'd get myself cornered or surrounded or something like that. It does appear as though the AI is a lot more aggressive in regards to ganging up on the player in this particular version. I don't know, they used to do that quite a bit in the previous one, but obviously the overhaul in regards to the combat AI has really made them a bit insufferable, in my opinion. I don't know. It's my own personal opinion there, of course. You don't have to agree with that, but for me personally, they have become quite annoying, and not in a fun way, you know, not in a challenging way, just in a why are they like this kind of way, you know what I mean? Anyway, let me see if I can actually do some damage with this thing. Can I actually do some damage with it? Yeah, for some reason, using a two-handed sword or even a one-handed sword, anything like that, has always been a bit weird for me. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but yeah, you see how much damage I'm dealing now? Yeah, you see that? I just dealt 300 damage in one fell swoop. Obviously, I didn't do that on the next guy, but I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can demonstrate this damage against a hardier opponent, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Okay, where are the cannons? Because I'd kind of like to find those if at all possible. Let me just summon some skeletons into this line here. Where are those cannons? I'm not seeing them right now. Let's just summon this, see if we can do some damage. We're not going to do that much here, unfortunately. They were moving forward at the time. Do they have any cannons here, or are they just using grenades against us? It could be that they're just launching grenades, and in which case, well, that makes sense then, doesn't it? That they're doing damage. Maybe we can do another Screaming Skull here. They do have some people that are kind of holding position up here. I'm going to charge into them. We're not going to do much damage, unfortunately, with our charge skill at the moment, because we don't have the final thing, you know, the final perk in the riding skill tree. There we go. That's dealing some damage. Not that much, actually, surprisingly enough. I was kind of hoping that we'd do a little bit more than that. Okay, so I'm just going to summon some undead. There we go. I'm going to have to get off my mount now, unfortunately. We need some Winds of Magic. We need some mana, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, how many have we lost so far? Whoa, okay, yeah, we're actually losing a huge amount, hilariously enough. Yeah, we're still winning, though, very, very slightly. Okay, so I'm going to just have to go here. Wind of Death is ready. Just going to go for it like this. There we go. And bear in mind, I do actually deal 60% less damage to my own forces. So I was kind of hoping that would make a relatively big difference to how effective friendly fire is, and hopefully it's going to reduce it to such a small degree that they're not actually going to die instantaneously from my attacks, because let's face it, I actually do not have a lot of magical damage amplification from my gear. I actually only have about 30% or 40% amplification, when I could have much more than that. I could have 70 or 80 even, I think. I think there are enough items in the game to actually allow you to get that, so that's something to bear in mind. But yeah, I think we're actually done here. I don't think we need to worry too much about this, and I think I can continue summoning my people. Oh, hello. I'm consistently getting murdered by some kind of artillery. I'm not entirely sure. Is the artillery physically on the battlefield, or is it just some random attack that happens every so often? Because I seem to recall that it is actually a physical representation. You do have a cannon that you can place down on the field. At least that is what I remember from a previous version, but it may just be that that was changed. Maybe they decided that that was not, you know, very functional or whatever, because I haven't seen that yet. But of course, we've not played as the Empire, we've not played as Britannia or anything like that, so we have no idea whether that's going to be the case or anything. So maybe it is. Ah, it seems like I've just found it. Look at this. It is actually a mortar. So what they had on the field were 2 mortars and a cannon. This is the great cannon right here. Can I actually use it? No, I cannot. Of course I can't. I'm not trained in that thing. Yes, indeed. Well, you know, that's all very well and understandable. Not a problem there, but yeah, it does look very, very cool to see them actually on the field. I kind of thought that they would be physically represented, of course, because otherwise they'd just be like ghost cannons or something, and that would just not make any sense. But very, very cool that is going to be a thing. Hopefully we'll be able to get some ourselves. I am obviously, as a human, going to have to do the engineering quest. Not sure how soon I can actually do that as a Britannian, but I guess we'll see. Alright, so we did manage to achieve victory. We only gained 168 renown from that, but we did end up losing 434 units, as you might expect, of course, because we mostly have skeletons in our party's armies, even if I don't have them in my own. And so, yeah, we're just going to, once again, we're just going to let them go. We're just going to let most of these people go. I don't see the real point in taking them prisoner right here, because they're just going to make peace just that much faster, and that is going to make things even more uncomfortable, suffice it to say. So, yeah, otherwise we're just going to do this. There we are. Wonderful. And then we can just move on. So we have 955 now. Yeah, I really wish I had a much larger party size, to be honest. I think that would be super, super nice for us. But yeah, as you can see, look at the amount of money I'm making right here. Look at this, 100,000. Look at that, 100,000. That is absolute insanity right there. Anyway, what's the swing speed of this thing? The swing speed is 90. I think I'm probably going to try and use this instead of my magical sword. And we're just going to see, I'm just going to obviously lock this, and I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of the most expensive loot. Because you never know, maybe sometime we're going to need some cash. I highly doubt it, but sometime you never know. Maybe at some point we will need it. Anyway, 95,000 experience is going to be donated to all of my troops, and they're most likely all going to be leveling up very, very easily. Yeah, look at that, 92 level ups right there. Obviously, most of these leveling up are terrible units that are just gonna fall over the next time a soft breeze hits them. But, you know, it's still something. It's still something that you can give to your people, and that's gonna be perfectly fine. Unfortunately, yeah, they've got that thing going for them, don't they? Okay, so let's just do this instead. There we go. And let's give some to this fellow as well. How many of the other ones do we have, actually? Oh, we don't need... Do we have a lot of those? Wait a minute. Ah, no, these guys. Yeah, we actually have a lot of these. Okay, so let's just give a whole bunch. Don't think I have enough space, to be honest. Or shall we say, I don't think my companions have enough space to take all of these, which is not so good, but I guess there's not much I can do about that, to be honest. Yeah, we're going to have to just give them regular skeletons, I suppose, because regular skeletons will eventually level up, so I suppose that's kind of decent. I mean, it's okay, you know, it's not terrible, because they will level up into spearmen and then eventually into other things. I'm just going to get rid of the roaming undead for the moment, because they are terrible and they don't actually level up into anything. I mean, they do level up once, but they don't level up into anything too useful. Anyway, we do have a siege going over there, and I'm still kind of surprised that they're taking so long, because obviously if you take a look at what I've done, I literally took, in this episode alone, I have taken, did I take this? Yeah, I think I took this, right? Or, no, I took that last time. Yeah, I took that in the last episode. So I took this, and this, and this. So 2 castles and a town, and I believe this one is up for grabs as well. So I should probably go over there and take that, but I should probably also be focusing on the towns a little bit more too, because that is quite useful, isn't it? So I'm kind of wondering what I should go for right now, but yeah, there's only 288 here, so this is really not going to be too difficult, is it? Alright, so we're actually inside the castle immediately here, and I am going to attempt to try to be as devastating as possible with my spell. So we're just going to do this over here. Wind of Death is going to take care of most of those. And then a nice little Screaming Skull to finish off these fellows. And then we can maybe do something against these guys as well on the battlements ourselves. Maybe we can actually do something here. As you can see though, enemy is really, really good at blocking. And hopefully we can, yes, let's just cut through them a little bit here. And if I hit them, they're going to basically die almost instantly if I get a good amount of hit on their body. Obviously, if I hit them with a, you know, really, really, you know, like negative speed bonus or something like that, then I'm not going to really have a very good time, but most of the time I should be absolutely fine here. Alright, so let's actually just jump over here, do a little bit of summons. And I'm going to need to go back up there, aren't I? We're also going to need to do something here. Oh, man. Okay, well, how are we going to do this? I guess I'm just going to go for a Screaming Skull in that direction, and then we're going to have to go into Mist form, because I just don't have enough. Mana to be able to do that. So, yeah, we're just going to have to do this. And then maybe, just exit straight away. And then just go to town on the archers, because I do have the ability to just absolutely wreck everything in the area now that I have my attack speed buff. Obviously, I don't have this for very long, but what's really cool about the fact that melee also charges up your ability is that technically what I could do now is, now that it's faded, I could literally go into Mist form again, find another group of enemies to attack, and then just do damage to them with the attack speed buff once again. And hopefully, because if there's enough of them, then I would be able to charge up my ability again, and I would then be able to effectively rinse and repeat it. Obviously, that's very much dependent on, you know, our own skill, dependent on the enemy's skill as well, because you never know when something bad is going to happen, obviously. Can't use this lance against these guys, that's for sure. Okay, so Screaming Skull is probably not going to be what I'm going to want to use here. I do want to continue to raise some dead here as well. Seems like we're having some problems with some of our forces, so I'm actually just going to tell them to charge in, because I don't really want them just standing here on the battlements. I feel like that is a huge waste. But if we can get up here to the top, then I think we should have a pretty easy time, because then I can just unleash my Wind of Death. Maybe we can... Wow, there's barely anyone here, to be honest. As you can see. Yeah, it is killing quite a few though, which I guess is good. But yeah, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more there. Just going to summon a bunch and just go back into Mist form. Don't have enough to be able to cast pretty much anything anyway. There's only 20 enemies remaining, and that's another castle fallen to us. Now, the main question that I have to ask is it actually going to be... That's the thing. Is it actually going to be a challenge for us to eliminate the last Empire faction? Or, shall we say, the Empire faction that I actually wanted to attack initially, which was Avaland. I actually wanted to attack them because, let's face it, they're the strongest. You know? They're the strongest, and I wanted to see how they would actually be to fight. Because, you know, the previous faction to this one that we were fighting beforehand, I can't remember their name now, they just fell over, you know? They literally just fell over, and I was thinking to myself, okay, well, these guys are quite simple for us to defeat, and I'm going to assume that the other ones are going to be more difficult. So, that's the reason why I'm like, well, does it make sense? Because I'm not sure. Should I go on and attack the others, or should I don't know. Should I start another series of Britannia? Because I'm thinking if we're too strong, and if no one can stop us, then, well, what do we do then? You know what I mean? That's the question. So that's kind of what I'm posing right now. I'm kind of saying, well, should we make a Britannia series instead? Because it seems as though we have absolutely destroyed, massacred, demolished absolutely every single well, every single hope that they potentially have. I mean, that's the funny thing. I mean, look at this. This is these are the dukedoms over here, right? And obviously, as I've shown you already, I mean, we've seen kind of what happens with the dukedoms, so we know what kind of strength they have. So they have, around 3,400. But obviously, as someone mentioned very, very rightly in the comments, they most likely have very high tier, very skilled troops. So that's the reason why they have such a low combat strength, but it's because of the numbers, right? But like, for example, look at Sylvania right here. We have 14,000 and we're currently at war against someone that has 6,300. Obviously this is a huge disparity right here. And these fellows, they have 10,000. So I'm wondering how it's going to be to fight against them. So what I'm thinking of doing is we'll play for maybe a couple more episodes and we'll see what happens, because what I'm actually going to do is I think I'll probably just take the remaining towns that Wissenland has, and then we'll go on to Avaland, and we'll see how that goes. And if they're super, super simple or easy for us to eliminate, then I'll probably end the series off then. And I'm just letting you know this because then you have a good heads up as to what's going to happen, and I don't want to just drop it on you. But usually that's how it goes with my series. If at one point we become way too strong, there is just no reason for us to continue. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if I went over here and I took all these without any issue, I mean, obviously we've got some people over there attempting to take Nuln at the moment, which is actually fantastic. It's really nice that they're doing that. But like, for example, if I mean, I'm probably going to be able to pretty easily take this castle. There's only 436 there, and then we could probably head on over and take the town as well. And there doesn't seem to be anyone that can really challenge us right now in this current faction. So that's why I'm wondering whether the other one is going to pose too much of a threat to us. And that's the question. Do they pose a threat? And if they pose a threat, well, are they going to be able to defeat us? Something tells me maybe not, but you never know, right? You never know. So that's what I'm interested to find out. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.